Good morning, good afternoon. This is the Road Warrior, and we are ready to rock on at Zolder, baby. Let's do it. We got about 15 minutes before qualifying begins. Let's go out and start warming up, baby. Putting the gloves on. All right, let's go out there. Ooh, Tapani is in here.
Track's clear. Push, push, push.
Understeer.
Sector 1 time is good. Left side's clear. Sector 2 is 0.4 off the pace. Place. 1 is quick. P5. That last lap was a 1:19.8. Sector 3 time is quick. Sector 1 time's okay. Sector 2 time is quick. That's 20 minutes to go. Sector 3 time's okay. Just done a 1:20.8. You're currently 0.6 off the leader's pace. Sector 2 time is okay. That lap was a 1:19.5. Sector 3 time is fast.
try that quali setup really quickly and then see what happens.
Pit exit's clear.
There you go. Minutes left, that's 15 minutes. Alright Michael, we estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining. P5. That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel. P4. Boom. Hey Ben, you here?
Yep.
I just set a quali lap time.
What'd you get?
18.1. Fastest guy in here is a 17.8.
Yeah, Fabian was running 16s.
That's a different weather, dude.
Yeah. What's the temp in there?
It's 79, 26 degrees. So
yeah, it's 3 degrees hotter than what I had.
Was it overcast or was it afternoon?
It was overcast.
Yeah, see here it's afternoon. Partly cloudy. Dude, I'm only 3/10 from Antilepisto.
You're gonna be quick today, bro.
I beat Ardo by 6 thousandths of a second.
Mike came to play.
Yeah. The setup works really good, the quali setup. I'm nervous.
You should be. You're probably gonna fail.
The only part that worries me on this entire track is the two chicanes. Running over those bumps really can send that rear going everywhere.
Yeah, you get it slightly wrong and it's really unpredictable.
All right, we got about a minute. before the qualifying session begins.
Ain't no thing, man. Sorry, wrong button.
Looks like Jamie and Rob and Ove are pretty close. 2/10 separating them.
Oh, it looks like Empty Box is racing today.
Where is he? Matt Orr. Ooh.
Yeah.
God damn it, my hands are shaking. Alright, quali set. Hey, if I crash out or something, if you want, I'll come help you out.
Sure. Ditto.
Cool. Just if you do, or I do, let's both make sure that when we do come and talk to each other, it's on a straight.
Yeah, roger that. Alright, printing my stream live.
Alright, man, I will see you out there. Good luck.
You too, bud. See ya.
By the way, I don't think Ardo, sorry, I think Tapani Lignoleto's in here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Big guns.
Yeah.
Big guns.
Well, I'm gonna bring out my big gun, damn it.
I'm shooting for that top 20.
And there's only 15 cars. Man, I'm number 6. You're number 18. Jesus. This must be a really high split, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Tapani in the 7,000s?
Something like that, yeah.
The track temps
Alright,
increasing.
good luck, man. I'll see you out there. Good luck with your quali.
Yeah.
Alright, quali session has begun. Let's go out there and see if we can get in the top 6 at least. Last weekend was a surprise. I didn't expect to be, I think I qualified 4th or 5th. Hopefully I can do something around the same today. Alright, make sure the quali stuff is correct. Yep. Alright, let's go out there, qualify.
All clear, push now. Okay, Michael, we've got 2 laps. Let's get this done.
Alright, lap 1, qualifying.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
That could have been better. We'll see. Just like in practice. No mistakes. That was a dodgy exit.
P4, we think you'll be out of fuel on the next lap.
Man, I screwed it up there. Damn it. Screwed it up. I could have done better. I had an 18 flat in there. Tell you, qualifying has never been my strong suit. I just don't practice qualifying. I practice race. Okay, everything's good here. Okay, now we're just waiting.
New fastest lap for Pickford on 17.8. That's a new fastest lap for Gerber on 17.1. The guy ahead has just done a 118.3.
Seventh, man. Well, qualifying don't mean shit. Let's see what they can do on the track. It's gonna be one hell of a race, I tell you that. We got 35 cars out there. $35 cars out there. Screwed up my second lap.
What'd you end up with there?
18.3. I had pace for faster than that. I screwed it up. I got an X going into 1.
I played conservative my first lap, and then I attacked my second, and I kind of screwed up the first chicane a bit. And so I probably could have had a 19.2, 19.3. But
I'm surprised by Tapani though. 18.5.
He might not have practiced.
That's his no practice pace.
That's his no practice raw Tapani pace.
Isn't Mark Pickford in the Lotus 49? I've seen him before somewhere.
Well, yeah, in here.
The guy behind has just done a 118.7.
We'll see. I got the pace to keep up with these guys.
Hey, you'll be fine.
And the racecraft.
Just be smart.
Yeah.
Don't spin yourself on the on the chicanes.
What'd you hit? 19.7? You're gonna be
Yeah.
fighting against Matt.
Yeah, it looks that way. Until I crash him and I get yelled at on YouTube.
I wonder if he is broadcasting. I feel like this race is going to have a lot of attrition.
It was pretty messy last year.
I was just telling everybody qualifying just isn't my thing, man. Qualifying is not my thing.
As long as racing is.
Yeah. Alright, 10 seconds, man. I'll see you out there. Good luck.
Yeah, bud. See ya.
Alright. Don't forget to put your race setup on.
That's the end of the session.
Already
P7.
have.
Alright, here we go. Let's double check the race fuel. Good. Good to go.
The track temp is 23 Celsius. The air temp is 22 Celsius.
Alright, so I've got my teammate, Ardo Yamaki, about 2 cars ahead. You see him in that red and white way over there. And I got Ben Laughter, my other teammate, a couple spots behind me. We do have some big guns here today. So we'll do what we can. Hopefully we don't get wrecked out in the first few laps. I want to get up to the Audis. All right, here we go.
Go! On your left. You're clear on the left. On your left. Clear on the left. Come on, Michael. Just settle down. Find your rhythm. Losing time here, man. We need to pass him.
Easy on the gears, easy on the gears.
P5. Let's see how wide you can make this thing. The leader has just done a 119.5.
Just cruising, baby.
The gap in front is now 0.5. The gap behind is now 0.6. Fastest lap for Gerber, 119.3. The guy ahead has just done a 119.7. fastest lap for Gerber, 118.8. Sector 1 is 0.4 off the pace. The gap in front is now 1.0. Watch out. Coming up on a slower class car. Sector 2 is 1.1 seconds off the pace.
Try to run easy, baby. You run easy.
On a slower car. Good lap. That's your quickest today.
Coming up on those Audis. Pajarito, ¿qué más?
Slower class car ahead. On your left, clear left.
Está muy difícil, man.
It's now 1.3 seconds. That was 121.2. Sector 2 is 1.2 seconds off the pace. Slower class car ahead. Car left. Clear left. Left side. Clear on the left. Looks like P4 has gone off in the first chicane. Right side. Right side's clear. Slower cars ahead. These guys are scrapping for position. They might not see you.
Left side's clear.
Thank you.
There's an incident in Xbox. Coming up on a slower class car.
There's a car right side's clear.
¿Se ve difícil?
Left side there's a car. Clear on the left. Car left. Clear left.
Slower class car ahead.
Car on the left. Left side's clear.
P5, that lap was at 122.3. Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.6 off the pace. Sector 2 is 1.5 seconds off the pace. The gap ahead is now 1.6. Slower car ahead. This guy's the class leader.
Car right. Right side's clear. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 2. Sector 3 is 0.2 off the pace.
front is now 1.6 seconds.
Woo!
Slower class car ahead. That's your fastest lap. Sector 2 is 0.2 off the pace. Your lap times are improving. This is exactly what we need.
Uh-oh, Audi off on the... Oh, I'm on you now, boy.
Okay, Michael, come on, stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits. P5. The gap ahead is now 1.0 seconds. Slower class car ahead. It's on your left. You are clear on the left. Okay, Michael, that's half distance. You're looking good for fuel. Right side. Clear on the right.
side. Left side's clear.
Come on, Auntie, let's do it.
Coming up on a slower class car. Stay on him, there'll be a chance. Some slower cars. These guys are busy fighting. They might not notice you. You've just done a...
It's car on your right. Clear right. Car on your left. Left side's clear. Car on your left side. Clear on the left.
Whew.
Coming up on a slower car. The gap in front is now 0.5.
On your left. Left side's clear.
You've used half your fuel.
Car on your right side. Clear on the right.
P5.
Whew.
Slower class car ahead.
Guy on your left. Clear on the left.
The gap in front is now 0.7. That was 120.1. Sectors 1 and 2 are quick. Sector 3 is 0.4 off the pace.
On your left side. Left side's clear.
Coming up on a slower class car.
Car left. Left side's clear.
2/10 off the pace in sector 1. Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.4 off the pace. Slower cars ahead. The class leaders up here. Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace.
Come on, come on.
Is now 1.3.
Shit, shit.
P5. That last lap was at 120.3. Front is now 1.5 seconds.
Hard to pass on this track, man. Alright, no more bullshit. Focus, 10 more minutes. Let's go. Get him.
Slower class car ahead. Sector 1 is 0.4 off the pace. You're a tenth off the pace in Sector 2. Sector 3 is 0.3 off the pace. Slower class car ahead.
Right side. Clear right. On your left. You're clear on the left.
Approaching some slower cars. These guys are fighting for position. Sector 1 is 0.2 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.9.
On your right. Clear right.
The gap in front is now 2.2. There's an incident in the first chicane.
Yes, fight. Come on.
Slower class car ahead.
Car on your right. The right side's clear.
Okay, Michael, the next car is Pickford. The gap behind is now 17 seconds. P5.
On your left. Clear left. On your left. Clear left.
Keep piling on the pressure, he'll make a mistake. You're approaching a group of slower cars.
Car right. You are clear on the right.
Gap to Pickford. Ahead is now 0.5.
Left side there's a car. Clear on the left.
Sector 1 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 1.3 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. You've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining. Last lap was 119.9.
Getting a little bit of air loss.
Slower class cars ahead.
Car left. Clear left.
Twitchy.
P5, one more lap to go.
Clear on the left.
Yellow flag. Incident in turn 1. We think it might be Miller. P5. That's the end of the race. Never mind.
Whew. Holy shit. Holy shit, I'm sweating.
Still racing.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
My God, I'm sweating so much.
I lost my nose halfway through the thing, so I was handicapped the whole race. I ended up 13th.
That was crazy, dude.
So I think I lost my nose when I was forced to go wide around turn 2 over those rumble strips. I was forced out by an Audi, and I think that's when I lost my nose. I'm about to go back and find out. I didn't notice it for a while. I was like, man, why does my car feel slow?
I finished about 3 seconds behind Ardo, and I finished in 5th, but Ardo finished in 2nd. It was really tight. Oh my god, that was insane. Ugh.
Yep, that's when it happened. Going around Cedric Foyle. Go back and see if I can do that.
How about you guys? It was a fun race.
That was crazy. Congrats, Fabian.
Yeah, congrats, Fabian and Billy.
Oh man.
It was fun trying to hold you off to Tommy. I didn't think I'd ever see the day. Have a good one, guys.
I'm tired. Wow, these things really take it out of you. Oh, who was that? Gus? That was a toughie. That was a toughie. waiting for the commentary. Mm-mm.
We can get Mark mic'd up here. He's having a little trouble getting the lob working. Let's give him a couple seconds to fiddle with that and make sure he's got the on button going there as he works the problems out of it. Oh, a little bit of flashing.
We got him.
Hello, can you hear me? There he is. All right, go ahead, Steph.
Mark, once again the question. You were able to keep your kittens clean. How did you, how were you able to save your car in this mayhem that is Zolder?
It's a complete mystery, especially with those curves.
Yeah, they can really catch you out. So, dropping from 2nd to 4th in the race, still a great result. How did it feel for you?
Yeah, I felt quite comfortable there in the car. I lost second place, got the third climb the first couple of corners. Couldn't really catch up to Antti after that. But no, I think I had the pace over Mr. Lepisto, but I lost it in the traffic on, what was it, the lap before last. So a bit gutted to lose a podium.
Yeah, that's just traffic or multi-class in general right there. But next up, we are going to Lamrock Park. Are you excited about that race?
I am actually. We took the Lotus there. I think we had 42 cars at Lime Rock in the Lotus 79, and that was a bit hectic. And I'm expecting this to be even more hectic.
That's for sure. Well, Mark, at the end of this interview, do you have anyone you want to say hello to?
Not really, just everybody in the series. They're really great guys to race with. So thanks, everyone.
All right, everyone. That was Mark Pickford finishing 4th in the GTP class. We have now Joe catching up with Rob Olenek.
Hey, guys.
Yep, and Rob had quite a battle right down at the end with Milan Arnozzi. We saw the door banging through the X chicane, and then we couldn't tell if you lifted or missed a shift on the end. Was that sportsmanship, or did you just catch you out?
I didn't have any power. I cut the first chicane early in the race before the Nissans caught us the first time, so my car was stuttering under throttle through 3rd through 5th gear. So I was just trying to maintain a gap because I could keep the gap easily on, like, in the corners and the tight sections, but the guys were catching me under all the straights. So when he got close, I kind of knew I wasn't going to get it, but I tried to fight for it, at least in the end.
Yeah, we saw that incident as well that you mentioned through the Kleine chicane where you caught the curb. It looked like both rear tires were up in the air on you.
Oh yeah, I was definitely pointing at the ground. I mean, that chicane is so tough. Like I go through sometimes you can just hit it every time, and then the whole beginning of the race, I just didn't have the rhythm of that thing down, and I just slightly hit the curb on the left, and it shot me to the right, and then it just sends you when you hit those things.
So
but
we
talked. Tough track.
Oh, very tough. Yeah. We talked a little bit about the next one coming up being Lime Rock Park. This one on its own is very difficult. I know you guys tend to kind of rotate the calendar a bit. Do you want to see this one back? It seems like it's very tough to bring this combination to.
It's a tough call. I like it. I like the shorter, tough tracks like this. I think like a once a year, kind of how we already have it set in the schedule, is probably good for a track like this. Not all the time, though.
That sounds about fair to me. All right. Well, again, commiserations for finishing a little bit down the order. It's a 5th place for you today, and can't wait to see you at the madness that is Lime Rock.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. See you guys next week.
Rob Olenek here today in the GTO class. We're going to close up, of course. I want to give some thank yous, a big thank you to the Camel GT community for having us back to broadcast once again. And of course, to iRacing for bringing this series onto the iRacing Esports Network. We love getting to broadcast some of our exciting series here on GSRC. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. And additional thanks go to Eric Ekholm and June Lalonde, who provide our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Adam, Sean, Dougie, and of course also to Stefan, who was our spotter today and helped us with the interviews. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check us out on social media. We're on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_RAM. As we mentioned, if you go over to our YouTube page over on the Global Sim Racing Channel, you hit our big red subscribe button. You won't miss a moment with us as well, but please do subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network to get all the action here. The next race, we said, we're heading to LRP, Lime Rock Park. That'll be Saturday, September 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. However, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.
Awesome. All right. So, let's see if we can watch this thing.
Was here like on pretty much a yearly basis. They went to Spa for the next year and then came back one
Let's
more
see if
year
we can watch
and
that.
was it. And since
Crazy
then,
race.
Lots of sports car racing has gone on here. A few European open wheel series have come and gone, but of course you got to
because they can still cause quite a bit of
As we take a glance at the qualifying, right now Fabian Gerber leads the way up in the GTPs and Nick higher. It's going to be a long day for Tapani out there. Let's see if there's anybody else yet to get a time in as the clock ticks down. Looks like Ove hasn't done a single lap. So down in the GTO class, one of our drivers typically up on the front row could start at the very back.
Yeah, but he's on a tear right now. He's actually coming to the line right now. We'll see what he puts down. And 129. You put him, see.
I'm gonna go get some food. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
this will be playing.
Class. Apparently, I can't count today. I'm slow on counting. This is gonna be fun.
Now, he's still got another lap. Oh, but he's abandoning it. Wow. I would think that he would want a little bit more than that. Maybe he just does not think he has time, which could be the case. And he's honestly the last one out there right now.
And I'll say that, you know, in a handful of races over the last couple of years that I've been able to call for this series, Ove likes these tight tracks where they really have to put the tower down outside of chicane. So the fact that he's going to settle for 7th, I'm actually really kind of surprised by that.
Apologies for a bit of technical glitches here. Getting picture back now, and we'll have picture back soon. Thankfully, you're not really missing anything. This is just the end of qualifying, and there's no cars out on track right now. We'll wait a bit to go through the grid since we got a full pace lap around here. We've got plenty of time to wait for that to happen. So we talked about how the chicanes are a problem. We talked about how the traffic could be a problem. Thankfully, they don't have to do any scheduled pit stops, so this weird pit entry won't be an issue. What else with your time out in the Nissan that are you really watching here, Adam?
Well, you know, we talked already about the chicanes, but there is one factor about the chicanes too that we haven't talked about, and it goes back to the Nissan, is that turbo. When it kicks in, you're going so slow that when that turbo kicks in, you've got to keep the back end from snapping around, and even the best will sometimes get caught out by that. So that's going to be something to watch out, particularly in the slow speed chicanes. The Audis, they don't have that problem as much. They're probably going to be more oversteering on the outside of those chicanes when they try to put the power down. But still, if you're going to have an oversteery Nissan followed by an understeery Audi, especially in multi-class tight passing situation, that could be a recipe for disaster for some people.
Well, disaster and this track tend to go together, it seems, from our past experience. As we get our picture back, thankfully, there we see them gridded up. So I believe we might be ready for the grid. Just double checking to see if we can bring that up. All right, let's get the grid up on the, there we go. As it looks like we're just having a few more technical issues, but I can read them out verbally. Fabian Gerber is on the pole with Mark Pickford starting in second. Ardo Iamaki will be P3. Tobias Gerber starts in fourth with Antti Lepisto in fifth, and Timu Tuika starts P6. Then in row 4, we've got Michael Houghton in seventh, Tapani Lindeluoto in eighth, Pablo Suarez in ninth, and John Keefe rounds out our top 10. Pretty big field in the GTPs, we should point out. Luis Emerton starts 11th with Sean Wiltshire in 12th. James King begins this race in P13, Clayton McLeod 14th, and Ben Laughter in 15th position. Matt Orr will start in 16th, Martin Krejcik 17th, then he'll be followed in P18 by David Miller, and Johnny Bell rounds out our GTP field.
Yeah, going over to those Audis, Bill Rula will start on the pole for the Audis. Jamie Hill's out there. Rob Olenchek is starting on the inside of row 2 for the Audis. Nicholas McConis alongside him. Riley Thompson, Andrea Albertinelli will be starting next. And then Ove Trengereid, who we mentioned, kind of a disappointing qualifying effort for him, but, you know, look for him to try to move up. Franco Scuri starting alongside him. Hresto Ublev, Reed Miller, Iskren Pondev out there in Milan Ronzi, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing the name, followed by Brian Shanahan, Hideki Koivisto, Cedric Poyle, and Thomas Delmuth. And that'll round out your Audi field.
I can help you with Milan. It's Arnozzi is his last name.
Arnozzi. Okay,
yeah,
that is a lot simpler to pronounce than what I thought. So
yeah, it's a confusing looking one. And,
for the record, I substitute taught for a little while, and I was always the substitute teacher that was made famous for butchering kids' names. So there you go.
And I can tell you as well, I know Rob's looks really crazy, but it's Olenek is what he goes by. So just Rob Olenek. And he's obviously been a big help in this series, of a stalwart in the Camel GT. As you see them now come their way towards the Boulder hairpin.
This was a
Very
crazy start.
For
almost
Sean
crashed into
Ambrose,
the guy in front of me.
some months ago, alerting me that Bergharspeld just means hairpin, so I didn't need to be pronouncing that all these years. And Boulder is so much easier to just say that way.
Well, anytime you can simplify things, won't be any complaints from me.
Absolutely. So we've got Pickford on the front row. Not used to seeing him that high up. He's not had a good couple races. He came out for the Camel GT 500. Had some trouble there at Suzuka last week. Seems like he's got some one-lap pace. Does he have race pace? That's the question. As right now, Fabian Gerber is going to be leading them down the way. Green flag is out, and Fabian Gerber gets a very good shot. Mark Pickford, oh, we got a car on the wall, and with our GTP cars, that is Tobias Gerber. Thankfully, nobody gets into him, but let's go to our GTOs.
Yeah, Bill Rula gets a big jump on the rest of the field. He's taking him across the line now, followed closely by Rob Olenek. He is back there going into turn 1. He's going to get a good look into the inside. There is that damaged Nissan on the inside. That's the car that you see.
That Nissan.
Bill Rula, though, continuing to control that field as they go single file through the first couple of corners.
Already the Nissans are heading towards the first chicane, which is a big danger zone in this first lap. We do have one car incident. Ben Laughter getting into it a little bit with James King. They actually touch a little bit again. Already we've got the leaders working their way through the Turleman chicane now.
James King very close to getting onto the back there of car number 30, Martin Krejcik. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name as well, but they are all able to get away there. A little bit of separation now for those guys.
Yeah, finally getting themselves sorted out. So not too bad there, other than the one car at the start and the GTPs. So we now are completing the first lap already as Fabian Gerber crosses the line. We're watching Krejcik continue to try to keep these guys back out of the X chicane and successfully ahead of them, staying in that 13th position for now. Let's take a glance at how the first lap has gone for the Audis, though, jumping back to Rolla leading the way.
Yeah, and of course the Audis, for the most part here, have been single file. Just a handful of passes in poor position early on in this race. Already starting to see some cars with some damage front end. One battle, though, to pay attention to is Andrea Albernelli. And looks like possibly teammates there with Franco Scurry. They almost get into each other going through turn one.
I love watching this.
Franco Scurry is going to take the position there.
It's almost as exciting as you know, any series out there.
Franco's been getting some speed lately. We saw him performing well since a little bit of an absence. Now we've got Brian Shanahan on the back of Albert and
back in the house
at the moment, actually making a 3-car battle because that's Milan Arnozzi and the Purple Machine.
Nice to see him back on track.
We're riding on board with Shanahan, who's sizing up Andrea, and nothing doing down into the decline of chicane.
And that is the highest position battle for position. Actually, I take that back. Nicholas McConis here having a big run on Riley Thompson. Not able to do anything with it going through that first big chicane. Well, the second big chicane there, that would be the Turlemock. Am I saying that right?
Turleman is box just means corner, so you can drop that.
That's right. That's right. Wow.
But boy, Riley Thompson. Oh man, missed shift for Mukanos there we saw on screen, and Ove Trangerade had to check up big time. Oh, and what is that? A missed shift for Thompson as well?
Riley Thompson, listening to his engine note.
Close racing guys in the Audis. Nice.
It almost sounds like he just got off the gas. It wasn't a missed shift or anything else. Maybe a problem with his pedals he had to quickly try to figure out, and that really jammed things up going through the Jackie Ickbach, and everybody's able to get away, but that got tense for a moment.
Really did. Back up in 4th place. We got a little bit of battle going on between Lepisto and Houghton. This is in the GTP class. So you see Lepisto, he's running in the white and black car. Houghton in the red and white machine, the Nissan Nismo car just there behind. Don't forget, Fat Tebow's back there. I'd like to see whether or not his endless fans are in the chat today. We'll find out a little bit later, but right now, Timu running down the order in 6th, not as high as we've seen in previous races.
Trying to find another tight battle for everybody here real quick, and everybody seems like they're going pretty much single file here so far, but hearing P4 heating back up, they're still spread out quite a bit.
Yep, but wow, it's Mukanos leading a train of cars, as you point out. It's Trangerade behind him, Thompson back there.
Nice.
Then it's Ublev, and Scurry is the first one that's a bit of a gap behind them.
Yeah, we go back just a little bit more than that. Brian Shanahan back there, really trying to hold off Arnozzi, and able to do it here as they start rolling through Jackie Ickbach, head down the front straightaway. But Brian Shanahan has his hands full right now back there with Milan.
Look at the run that he's got down the front stretch. He sticks his nose into the inside of Ersta. Does he got it? Yes, he does. And coming down to Studenbach, looks like he's going to be solidly now into 11th place. Nice run by Milan.
Nice.
Yeah, now we'll see if he's able to run away for a little bit here. It seems to be some of the trouble those guys have been having is catching. It's the old thing. Catching somebody is one thing, passing them is a totally another. And apparently here at Zolder today, it's also going to be running away from them after he passes them is going to be another thing. Is the Audis punching enough of a hole in the air that going down some of the straights here, they're able to hang tight with each other. Hearing possibly going up to P6.
Yep, looks like John Keefe has Timu Toika all over him, and I think John just took that away from Timu, because just a moment ago I was talking about Timu being in 6. Now, Luis Emerton also giving a watch, who catches a little bit too much curb, and now he's going to lose his spot. So we ride on board with Timu behind him. The action is with Tapani Lindaluoto working the long way around Emerton into the Kleine chicane, and somehow they get through there okay.
Yeah, Luis played that smart, decided he's going to go ahead and try to get him back here in a minute, but that allows Clayton McLeod to really get up in the mix there in his Nissan. He's going to take a look at the outside of the chicane, maybe try to do it up and under. Oh, the road, I think 2 cars ran over the sausage curbs right there. I don't see any damage on him, but you don't want to do that too many times. But Clayton McLeod is there. He's going to be looking to try to get around Lewis Hamilton right here.
Well, no visible damage on the
Pablo has to back out of it in order to avoid Clayton McLeod when he backed out of that chicane. And Pablo Suarez, that could have been a lot worse for those guys right there.
What I was saying before is, even though we can't see any damage, the under tray of that car is what you got to worry about after going over that. I think we might want to go to the leader because he's starting to catch Audi traffic. Fabian Gerber now slicing his way through the GTO field. This is where it starts to get tense. Mercifully for him, Adam, he's catching the first few very, very spread apart.
They are. But it's going to be before too long that he starts catching that Arnazi, Pondev, and Shanahan battle that we were talking about. He might only have like a lap or two before that happens, but he's got to get around Hideki Guvisto here. And I think he's going to catch Hideki in a favorable position to be able to get around him. So he might not have too much trouble up until he catches that battle.
Yep, looks like down into the hairpin, going to be easy out-braking maneuver for Gerber around Koivisto. And that's one thing we should point out is the lap time difference. It's about minute 17 for the fast guys and the GTPs, but it's a minute 27 for the fast guys.
Here we go.
And the GTO, so a whole 10 seconds a lap faster is how quickly you come up upon the slower class.
Yeah, and if I had to guess right now, I'm going to be thinking that Fabian Gerber's going to be getting onto the back of Brian Shanahan, possibly by the time they get over to Lucien and maybe even Klein. Actually, he's right there already. I'm underestimating that. They still have to catch him. I think I actually slowed Milano a little bit on corner exit.
On board right now with Ove Trangrade giving chase to Riley Thompson. Trangrade running that cool new paint scheme that he's sharing with Rob Olenek. Right now can't do anything with the rear of that black, white, and red machine of the number 19, just stalking him around the laps.
All right, now your leader's caught up to a battle here. Fabian Gerber right on the back of Andrea Albernelli, and he's in their fight with Reed Miller. Andrea lets the leader go by, gives up the battle here for the time being. Fabian Gerber is in the midst of GTO traffic, and he's in the midst of several battles.
And just before he hit this, it was about 3.5 seconds between himself and Iamaki. Now, Iamaki's got to go through this too, but already he's closed that down to 2.5 seconds. The traffic can change because Iamaki could catch it at a much nicer place than Gerber is. Gerber, though, getting a good opportunity to slip by the car of Scurry, and I think he's going to get Ublev before Ersta.
Yeah, and I was thinking there, Scurry might try to take advantage of that pass by your leader, Fabian Gerber, on Hristo Ublev, but he let him go. But that battle right there going through turn 2 was, I was going to tighten up a little bit, but that's just in time for our 2 Iamaki to try to get through these guys as well. He seems to be having a little bit better luck cutting through the traffic. You mentioned that there, Joe, but did get slowed down a little bit there on the exit of Lucien.
Yeah, he did a lot. It's actually back up to 4 seconds now between himself and Gerber.
Rob Olenek is off the track. He's coming right back on in front of R2.
And that was a self-made error going back and looking at it. So a spin through the Kleine chicane for Olenek sets him backwards down to 6th. Let's take a look at the replay.
Get that GSRC play machine fired up.
So there's just the tail end of it. So we step backwards just a little bit farther. Let's see, did he take too much curb maybe? Oh, a lot. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Ouch.
That car was up in the air.
Wow. Let's keep talking about the head damage those sausage curbs can do, but it's been a while since we've seen them launch the rear end like that. That was... These cars don't have a lot of traction. You don't have any.
Sorry, John Keefe has a big issue in the final chicane.
Oh, John.
And that was actually with the Milan Arnozzi, so lap traffic already causing some headaches. Wow, down to 15th for John Keefe. We're going to take a look at the replay. Almost looks like John maybe squeezed him a little bit as he tried to come back to the racing line.
Yeah.
Or no, from that angle it almost looked like Milan turned into him a little. Hard to tell. Kind of a toss-up from that just one angle that we just saw. Oh, we're getting information from one of our spotters that Milan actually lost the rear of the car. So easy to do in these Audis under braking. As John tries to come back at Sean Wiltshire with no success.
Well, lap traffic has really precipitated a battle now between 9th and 10th as well. That's Matt Orr and Timu Toika. They are running nose to tail as they got slowed down a little bit behind Arnazi just a moment ago. That allowed that battle to heat up, and now they're having to fight around Reed Miller. They're going to catch Reed in a pretty favorable location, able to get around him under braking, but then they get slowed up immediately by Franco Scurry. So now those guys are starting to catch the top half of the GTO field.
Scurry's going to stay on the racing line, let him slip to the inside. Scurry's also chasing Hristo Ublev as well, don't forget. So he doesn't want to give up too much time to these guys as we jump over to 10th in the GTOs. Milan Arnozzi currently leading Andrea Albertinelli. Ooh, look at the battle behind him, though. That's Laughter and Wiltshire.
Ben
trying to slice through. Don't forget that's John Keefe in there, still chasing Wiltshire. Just saw Sean come off of the Lotus 49 at Talladega, of all places, believe it or not. Led quite a few laps over there.
Now, of course, I haven't seen it. I told you already I want to see it, but tell people at home, was it a great race? Was it a crazy race? So they can go back and watch it after this.
It was a fun race, I will put it that way.
All right.
It's worth watching. Oh, and John's got a great run on Sean. Looks like he's not going to have enough of one to make a move down into the Turleman chicane. Up ahead of them, Ben Laughter gets plugged up by Franco Scurry and Hristo Ublev. Now they're all going to try and wind their way around, but I don't know if all three cars will get by the hairpin. Ooh, this is going to be messy.
Oh, Ben.
Laughter gets loose.
Too quick into the corner, buddy.
Not only costs himself 2 positions, but look at the checkup he caused for Ublev, who now has Franco Scurry all over the back of him, trying to make a move, but a good defense from Ublev holds him off.
Hey, you want a shower? Shower.
The excitement comes very quickly.
He doesn't like that word.
Just as quickly it disappears before you're going to get another taste of it without much time. We're already down to 25 minutes left to go, nearly halfway through this race. Up in 9th place in the prototypes, Matt Orr and Timu Toika. We were watching them fighting a little bit ago. Orr still leading the way. Toika has not been able to overtake him. This has been a bad race for Toika, if we're honest. Starting at 6th, he's now running in 10th.
Yeah, I think he kind of, on that front straightaways stumble right there that we saw right at the beginning of the race, I think he kind of got slowed up a little bit, and that cost him a few positions, and just hasn't been able to make any of it up. But yeah, you're right, it is very uncharacteristic of Timu here so far. It almost gets in the back of Matt Orr. I don't think you could have gotten much closer than that.
That was Jamie Hall, the GTO car that we saw. That Matt Orr just realized at the last second, I probably shouldn't dive this in there. His checkup caused Timu to have to try not to get in the back of Orr as they slide their way through Ix. And that car, that GTO of Hall, is going to split them apart yet again. And poor Timu has to work to get right back up to the rear.
You know, in looking at it, I'm actually surprised that Timu didn't even lose any more time than what he did there. But still, I mean, he went from being right on the back bumper, or back wing of Matt Orr, now going back, I believe that's about a second, maybe a second and a half there.
Yep, still chasing him around.
I love this series. I really do.
Them work down the straight towards
I gotta
Kleina.
thank Ben Laughter
Let's stay on this battle, but
for
just
bringing me onto this. This is so cool.
Leading in the GTPs, and it is Willy Rolla leading.
I'm happy that I'm
GTOs.
competitive with the top guys. Maybe not Fabian, but at least with the rest of the top guys.
Front end damage. I'm trying to find out what happened. I think it was only about a lap ago.
But while he's looking towards that to see if we can figure out what happened, Toyka has now caught Matt Orr, and he's held up coming off the exit of Turleman. That was Billy Roll, our leader in the GTOs.
Okay. So coming out of Turleman, there was a GTO that had spun. It was Sean Wiltshire that had spun. He put it into the tires, and as he tried to re-enter the track, almost caught Ove, had to take evasive action, lost it, nosed it into the wall. I think Ove's day is done.
Oh. Well, it looks like his good luck isn't always going to be there, unfortunately, for Ove. So while Matt Orr continues to lead ahead of Toyka, these two battling has now allowed Suarez to start to gain on them.
And Joe, I've lost it in my replay here because of trying to find that other incident earlier on. But I'm seeing R2 Iamaki in second position with a lot of damage on his car.
Damage? Do you have damage,
Let's see
Ardo?
if we can get our spotter to look into that. The left front, there you see it on the cameras.
Okay, so and on there it looks fine. Okay, so it must just be on my end. I apologize for that. Sometimes that happens, but it scared me a little bit there.
He's still got some there, so he made contact with something. It could be actually the curbs themselves.
That was my first thought, but on my screen, I'll tell you, it's not some damage. it's like your car's destroyed. Go home. But thankfully, it's not like that. R2's still solidly in second, having himself a good day. You know, right now
like
running
R2D2.
about almost 6 seconds behind Fabian Gerber, your leader. But so I bet he's glad my screen is wrong for sure.
Let's jump back to Matt Orr and Teemu Toyka, because that battle's still very, very close. In fact, I think it's the closest we've got here in the GTPs.
Well, wait until the last 10 minutes.
Every time I take a glance over,
where I try to pass Pickford and
I got some flat traffic. Oh, yeah, this is going to be very costly for Orr. Look at how much time that gains for Teemu Toyka in a critical portion of the circuit, because if he can withstand the wake through that corner, oh, and it just costs him enough to keep him at hand's length. Through the Kleiner chicane they go. They get a second bite. Oh, and this is a very good exit for Toyka. But it's a short straight down to the braking for Turleman. Clatters over those curves. Sure, he's not afraid to get aggressive.
Loosey-goosey.
He's got a chance down here into the hairpin. A defensive move from Matt Orr. Could we see an over-under potentially? You got to be careful on the power with the turbo lag of these cars. No change in position. Empty box is
like
going to
stepping on an eggshell when you're coming out of those corners in first gear. Easy does it.
Now, as much as I like Matt's channel, I did have to remind myself, no, that's empty box.
Oh, here we go. This is a great exit
Nice.
out of the Kleiner chicane.
Nice.
It's the traffic that costs him the position. Braking to make sure he doesn't get into the Audi. Teemu boxes him in
Teemu.
appropriately.
Nice job, buddy.
And takes away ninth. So, next on his list is going to be Clayton McLeod, but it's a whole almost 3 seconds up for Toyka to move up there. Oh, and look at this. Is Orr's still slow because Suarez took a peek on him down into Kleiner. Not close enough to make that attack work, though. 20 minutes left to go here. We're hitting the halfway mark.
It's nice seeing
now.
Matt Orr here.
We've been watching these
I hope he
GTP
stays for a few
cars
more
for
races.
while. Let's see if there's
Gets a
anything
little
over
quicker.
And the GTOs, Ublev and Arnautovic.
It'd be nice for him to kind of
Right now, your
his
Fabian,
Camel GT
Fabian
races.
Gerber just had to split Hresto Ublev and Milan Arnazzi, and that was very exciting through turn 1 there.
Certainly hold your breath for the leader. Let's take some risky moves. Let's take another look at that one, because we just came in as that was happening. I wonder if we could get an onboard of Fabian.
See, what I don't want just an onboard. I want to read out of what he was thinking at that very moment. We realized, oh, I'm going to have to split these guys.
We couldn't show that on air, I don't think, if we got that reading.
But
nice job, anyway.
Yeah, that was a very nice job by all involved there, because there was no other option there. He had to split them, and everybody was able to get through it. As he's having to get around Rob Olenek right now, and able to get around him, but that got a little tight there, slowed up on a corner exit. But he's got such a large lead right now, I don't think that's going to matter too much to him.
Let's go back to 7th because that battle that he split is
Oh,
not
come on,
lifted.
Nardo.
Arnozzi still trying to keep Ublev behind him as they come down to the X chicane. It's go ahead.
And they're going to have a whole mess of fighting GTOs getting ready to come through. In fact, go back just a few more spots to Andrea Abernelli and then Reed Miller. They've got the fighting GTOs at Anti Lepisto and Michael Houghton right behind them.
That's
so
me.
Battles all over the place right now.
There we saw the car of Mark Pickford slicing through. Remember, Mark started this race on the front row. He's still in 3rd, so he's holding his own. I'd say he's getting a handle on this Nissan, having raced the Lotus 79 for so long. Boy, I tell you what. Oh wait, no, Houghton and that is a battle for position between Houghton and Lepisto that slid through there. Thought maybe that was a lapped car. No, those two are fighting for 4th, just outside the podium.
Ooh, and Franco Scurry comes down the track right in front of Michael Houghton just a second ago, and thankfully they were able to get by with contact, but that split up that Anti-Lepisto-Houghton battle here just a little bit.
Yes, it's allowing Lepisto to slip away. He's going to put another car between them. That's Olenek. Wow, decisive moves there from Lepisto. This is what I've noticed really seems to make the difference in this series, Adam, is just the knowledge of how to read the traffic and when to take risks.
Yeah, and then Fabian Gerber right now, as you saw just a moment ago, excelling at that. But some of these guys really having to fight through that too. But, you know, I will say that despite that one incident that we saw earlier on, thankfully most of these, the two separate classes have been able to stay off each other going through the chicanes. Now, when we get a little bit closer to the end of this race, I mean, we've only got about 16 minutes or so here left. That could change, though, as things start to tighten up. We still have a lot of battles on track.
Watching 8th place down in the GTOs. Ublev has dropped off the back of Arnozzi, and now Andrea Albertinelli is now chasing him down. They're going to get caught by Tapani Lindaluoto, our 6th place GTP. He gets one. He's going to have to be very brave to get the other, and he is. Looks like a little bit of backing off by Ublev, but that cost him as Andrea now is all over the back of him. He gets a much better launch. They're going to go side by side, up and over the crest and through Buta.
I don't think he got it.
Looks like Ublev a little bit braver on the brakes. Oh, maybe too brave. He gets a punch in the back from Albertinelli. Things getting a little bit rough out there. Looks like Albertinelli maybe missed a shift heading his way down to the Boulder hairpin, and now Reed Miller rocks up to the back of his Audi.
As this race goes along, starting to see more and more cars with front end damage out there. Also, Joe, Ben Laughter has now lost his front end, and I'm pretty sure that's a real losing his front end this time around, as he had a curb strike just a moment ago.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, I'd say their broadcast cameras confirm that. Ben Laughter is going to be running. How much slower did you say it was without that nose?
I'm guessing maybe like a second.
I found out it was about 5 seconds difference.
Oh. And he still has 15 minutes left in this race. I'm almost wondering if it's worth him coming in and getting a new front clip. Meanwhile, Scurry and Arnozzi. Arnozzi's been in a lot of action today, trying to move his way forward. He's currently in 7th, looking to take away 6. And he started this race, well, I can't see what within class, it was 27th overall. Oh, Scurry getting a punch up the back, and he runs into Toika.
Big contact.
We get a replay of that one. Poor Toika was the innocent victim in that one. Or of course, I'd also say that Scurry was too, because that was Matt Orr that comes up behind him. You're going to see, this is Toika. He's a little bit in front of this incident. This all started with Matt Orr trying to get his car over to the racing line, got into the back of Scurry. Scurry gets into the back of Toika.
Oh, man.
Oh. Timo's probably wondering, what in the world was that?
Yeah,
sorry, Toyka just got into Suarez. I think there was contact between those two, just as we came back. So it was coming out of the X chicane just before the front stretch.
By the way, Matt Orr coming down pit lane after that contact, so obviously he has some damage he's not happy with.
All right, so let's stay on this afterwards because they made contact for a second time. So watch this, it's going to be in the second corner. This is Sterdenwacht out of Erst. Look, he's flashing his lights. I wonder, I never like to say things are intentional. We do not know if this is the case, but here he comes up on him. They're going to go 3 wide. What happens here? Ooh, and he hits the back of him again. Wow.
Things are heating up between these two guys.
I don't think that Suarez is going to be sending any Christmas cards to Toyka. So right now, Toyka is still behind in 10th place. Suarez is past him in 9th now.
And a little bit of contact as well. Oh, more contact.
Man.
This time, Martin Krisharak and Andrea Albernelli getting into it. Some multi-class contact. Albernelli was just into the back of Hristo Ublev not more than 2 corners before that.
Yeah, it looked like some wheel spin maybe for Krejcik. Oh, no, maybe it was ghost contact there. That car just suddenly spun around in a way that didn't quite look natural. As we come back live. So, again, as a lot of action has been happening, your top 3 over in the GTPs are still Gerber in first, Iamaki second, Pickford in third. What's the podium looking like down in the GTOs?
Yeah, very calm up at the front 3 of these guys. Villarua coming home in, or it's just not coming home yet. Oh, it's still a little way to go home. In first position, Nicholas McConis in second, Jamie Hall in third position. So that's your top 3 over here.
Working as we watch Mukanos down there in second.
Looking at Luis Emerton really diving in there, going through Jackie Ickbach to get around both Nicholas McConis and Cedric Boyle. Trying to go for a twofer there and kind of jam them up a little bit, but they get away clean.
Yeah, Boyle was a lapped car, so that wasn't for position between himself and Mukanos. Mukanos, though, it's going to take a drastic development for him to catch Ruola at this point because it's 10-second gap there.
Yeah, big gaps. As long as they can stay clean, I think your front 3 in the Audis are going to be pretty well safe.
Despite all this action, we don't have a high attrition rate. Matt Orr is in the pits. Ove Trangarade is out of the race, and Tobias Gerber is gone. Everybody else is still out there running.
And some of those battles that we've been watching here the last little bit are starting to break up just a touch, but one that is not is looking at Hristo Ublev, Reed Miller, and Andrea Albernelli is starting to heat back up as well. Those 3 have been around each other pretty much this entire race here so far, and it looks like Reed is trying to find a way around Hristo right now.
Looking to the inside, down to the Kleine chicane, gets back in line. He doesn't want to leave himself vulnerable to Albertinelli. And don't forget, behind them, that's Hideki Koivisto. So a 4-car train all for position.
And I was thinking that I think Hristo is slowing this group up right now, and that's allowing Hideki to get onto the back there of Andrea. And, you know, you got to think, too, also in this battle, that Andrea has been involved in a few incidents here the last couple of laps. So, you know, might need some time for that heart rate to come down a little bit, too. So be a little bit careful.
My credit goes to Ublev. He's been holding back a number of cars all race long, and it doesn't seem like anybody's able to shake him.
Oh!
Yeah, he's very solid race.
Oh, Koivisto, we were on board with Koivisto and got all kinds of loose. Was he helped with that?
No, I think the back end just came out. But he got a little bit of dirt, and he overcorrected and slid that back into the wall. But you know what? That was actually a great piece of driving. Yeah, he got loose and everything else on the dirt. Used the wall assist to straighten him back out, but he Reed's able to get away, continue on with very minimal damage out of that.
Look at this. That is not the rallycross version of this car, Hideki. I know you're from Finland. Oh, and we have a car off. Reed Miller.
That battle that just exploded. Andrea Albernelli is involved. Haristo's involved. Reed Miller's involved. That happened
that was
a short
wreck.
time ago. Yeah, that's
it
what
was into
happened.
the first
all three
corner.
Of those cars.
Maybe about 40 seconds ago. Let's see if we got it on replay. Just a little bit of contact between Miller and Ublev. We're going to try and... Here it is. Right here is where it happens, out of the first corner exit. And as Bill likes to say, after... It's just an octopus putting on socks.
Soupism still makes its way into today's broadcast.
Always. So we come back live.
Ooh.
Once again, it's a
nice paint.
Miller still having some issues there. It started a little messy, then it got a little better, and now it's messy all over again. So the opening stages and closing stages need a little work in this series. Ublev still running in 9th despite the issues. Ooh, Pondev had it off. We don't need to go to it, but just out of the Ix chicane, he returns to the track.
Battle for 4th getting ready to shape up here in the alleys. Rob Olnek is really catching Riley Thompson. Riley Thompson must have had an incident that last night. His engine just blew. His engine just blew.
Oh, no.
Riley.
It's like I was noticing his front end had heavily damaged, and that's why he was getting caught. And on that straightaway,
sucks, buddy.
It let go on him.
And here we've been following Riley with the incredible performances he came in here with, and lacked practice and didn't get him. And every single race, it seems like he's starting to come back, and then something happens to him. Just has the worst of luck as we switch
next week, Riley.
From Arnozzi now to Ublev.
Move on to the next one, buddy.
I was thinking, even despite that incident a few laps ago, that battle, they found each other again. Ublev and Miller going back at it once more. And behind them, Andrea catching back up and getting ready to get back involved here.
So as we watch, these two have been battling much of the race. Have another go at one another. Ooh, bit of a slide coming out of the corner from Ublev, but gets it going, finds the grip with that four-wheel drive. And see just in the distance behind them, that is Albertinelli, along with Miller, who's the one chasing him. Ooh, Lepisto in a side-by-side battle right now with Mark Pickford. This is for a podium spot. Pickford's held this position all race long, but
here we go.
More
here we go.
is Lepisto with a brilliant
I'm on the back of that train.
Oh, but he gets held up by traffic, and now Mark gets held up too. That's Houghton as well, who has nowhere to go. That was the GTO of Thomas Delmuth.
They got Arnozzi right there as well, too, slowing him up on corner exit coming out of Klein.
Lepisto is trying to keep Pickford back for just a few more laps now that he's got the pass done. Game of cat and mouse between these two at the moment, and Houghton ready to pick up the pieces if the milk spills. Coming out of the Boulder chicane, or Boulder hairpin, excuse me. Cedric Poyle and Rob Olenek are ahead of them. These two are not battling. Shouldn't really hold them up too much, but can Lepisto get both? He gets one, but Pickford sneaks his nose in there so they can hold on tact with him. Down to 5 minutes left to go. Houghton sneaks through around Olenek just to try and keep touch.
And just to update that other battle we've been watching, we don't need to go to it, between Haristo Ublev and Reed Miller. Reed Miller, big hop on the curbs, launched the rear end in the air, and he's in the pits, and his day might be done. So that battle finally subsides, but due to unfortunate circumstances.
Yep, been a bit of a disappointing day for Reed after he looked like he could get a good finish. Lepisto now with this clear track is pulling away from Pickford a little bit. But how much more clear track does he have?
Yeah, I want to point out too, though, that group has actually been catching second place Imake here the last couple laps as well. That gap is only, I think, less than 4 seconds now. So we could see, second place get in the mix here before too long as well. I think the question is going to become, do they have enough time? And right now, I'm thinking they might not. It's still enough of a gap where R2 might be safe as long as he can keep the car straight.
Let's give a glance at Villy Rolla, because we really haven't shown him all that much. That number 7 has been leading pretty much this whole race.
He has. I mean, he has an 11-second lead right now over top of Mukanis. And, I think on a day like today where we've talked about just about everybody in the field for one reason or another, I think Billy's okay with us being quiet about him, because that means he hasn't been involved in any action. He's been able to have a very safe first-place run here so far and just has to bring the car home.
Well, and last week, if I'm not mistaken, if my notes are right, he had a miserable day at Suzuka, especially with getting bumped around. I'm sure he'd like to cruise to a victory pretty easily. Going back to that battle in the GTP cars, Lepisto now stretches out to nearly a second over Pickford, but Houghton much closer to Pickford, trying to demote him. They are still 3 seconds up to Iamaki. As we watch this battle, I have to wonder, we saw the slightest bit of damage on Iamaki. That could still be slowing him up and what's causing these drivers to catch on him. There you can see him up at the top of the screen in some of the shots. Just glances here and there, so they can probably see him ahead of them in their windscreen. Now down to 2 laps to go.
Yeah, those guys shaved off almost another 2 seconds off of R2's lead that last time by. Now they got to fight through some of the same lap traffic, but they're catching him in more of a favorable spot. So especially Lepisto right there really is able to get around. That was the car there of Mukanos.
Yeah. And I said it before, but just decisive moves from the Finn, and it's helping him gain hand over fist. Is now 2.6 up to Iamaki as we ride on the 007 cam of Lepisto. Iamaki actually has the traffic within his own class. James King to try to get around right now. The Bush Fink car not giving away readily. Wonder if that could play a part in Lepisto starting to gain on him. Will be Finn versus Finn. White flag is out for Fabian Gerber as we continue to watch the battle for the podium. Second and third have not been decided by any stretch of the imagination. On board with Lepisto now, currently sitting in the final podium position. Lepisto with a half-second lead over Pickford, down to 2 seconds up to Iamaki. I'm thinking this is still too little, too late for him to try to get himself up to second place.
Ooh, Lepisto breaks loose just a touch, trying to get around your Audi leader, and that's going to allow Mark Pickford to really get a run on him. Is he going to be able to do anything when he tries to go for the up and under? But then Michael Houghton tries to get involved in it as well, and that actually cost Mark Pickford some time. Lepisto might be able to get a good, clean run here. Second, but he blocks up those rear brakes again. All that time disappears. Those three get jammed right back up. Third through fifth right now. Can't throw a slice of paper between them.
And unfortunately, we've got to step away from them because Fabian Gerber is coming up to the final chicane. Fabian Gerber is going to be your winner in the GTP class. A fantastic drive for Fabian. And Roll is going to follow him home very quickly here.
Yeah, Roll is going to be behind the battle here for third through fifth, and it looks like Lepisto is able to get third, holding off Mark Pickford and Michael Houghton, and then coming back behind them, your Audi
Good
winner,
race, very
Billy
competitive.
Rolla, able to bring that thing home, flag to flag.
10-second gap in both of the classes. GTO's Nick Mukanos just coming across ahead of Jamie Hall, barely a tenth behind him at the line. That's how tight it was for those two.
That was really
so
fun.
very similar stories, Adam, as we watch McLeod trying to hold off Toyka to the line. He's going to be successful there. Both podiums coming down to the wire. Ooh, Olenik's in a battle with Arnozzi right now, though. Look at this, side-by-side door banging. That's Olenik in the red machine.
Who gets it?
Is he going to let him have it, or is that a missed shift? Hard to see, but Arnozzi comes out ahead. He finishes in the 4th position in the GTOs. Do we have anybody else still finishing this race at this point? Cars streaming across the line. I don't see any other battles taking place. So that is going to be it here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back with the official results as well as driver interviews, but stick around because on screen you're going to see all the upcoming races here on the GSRC.
All right, guys, that's been a fun one. We're at Lime Rock Park next weekend, so stay tuned. We will be doing NASCAR Thursdays, where we're driving the Xfinity class. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Road Warrior, signing out.